duration assets to long duration assets. You know, you wouldn't invest in ice cream cones. Don't invest in the peso. But why are you holding 20-year financial instruments? Don't own 50-year physical land instruments. Buy a 1,000-year instrument. Use BTC. BTC is the cost of capital, not the S&P. The S&P is 13%. BTC is 55%. Right? Think of 55%. That's your cost of capital. And then use intelligent leverage. Here's our model, a billion-dollar portfolio. You want to be a normie, a maxi, a triple maxi. Here, at the maxi, we just said put 100% in at the double maxi, and triple maxi is 10% leverage. And that's what happens. You start with $1 billion, and in 21 years, you'll have $5 billion of your normie, and you'll be patting yourself on the back, talking about what a good job you've done in managing the endowment. But it could have been 300 billion. It could have been 100x. Not that hard, very straightforward. Now let's talk about wealth of nations. This is the interesting one. What's the national Bitcoin strategy? Do's and don'ts. Well, reallocate your treasury from gold and bonds, they're short duration assets, to a 10,000-year asset. Issue currency to buy Bitcoin, issue debt to buy the Bitcoin, encourage Bitcoin ownership with favorable laws, protect self-custody for individuals and corporations, and support integration with the banking system of your country. Those are all do's. The don't pursue policies hostile to Bitcoin and Bitcoin holders. This one's not complicated. Now let's say you're an indebted country. You're actually in debt. You're running a deficit. I could name these countries, but I won't. I'm just going to say you owe a lot of money and you're struggling, your interest rates are high, you don't know what to do. Well, here's your strategies. Are you a normie or a 10%er or a maxi, double maxi, or triple maxi? The maxi is you put a third of your treasury into this. A double maxi is 65%. And a triple maxi is put all your treasury into it and start issuing debt. For those of you who can actually read, right, the first country to buy Bitcoin by issuing its own currency wins. This is simple. You print paper. Remember that Seward check? You issue the check. You're like, well, yeah, you could whine. Oh, we couldn't afford it. You know, it was 2 years after the Civil War. The country was bankrupt. Millions of people are dead. The South is in disrepair. The North is angry. And this guy, Seward, comes up with an idea to buy frozen tundra, a lot of it, from a bunch of Russians that wanted the paper. Here's what happens. You just get insanely rich. $58 trillion of rich. But, you know, more than that, this strengthens your national security because you end up with $50 trillion or more of digital capital nobody can take. You know, they can't steal it, right? They bomb your country, they invade your border, they're not getting the Bitcoin, right? So this is good for your financial security and your national security. But note, if you are Saudi Arabia or Norway, and if you pursue the triple maxi strategy, Saylor says it's very easy to do, but it's 4.2 million Bitcoin you end up with at the end of that line. That means there's not a lot of room for triple maxis, not at the nation state level. Right? There's going to be one, there might be two. At some point, right, this is an opportunity for an aggressive mover. You can have a lot of triple maxi families and a lot of triple maxi corporations. Not a lot of room for triple maxi nations. And let's look at the U.S. U.S. is a special case. Well, the rules are still the same, right? Buy Bitcoin, sell the paper, get rid of your gold. go long range. And the don'ts are still the same. Don't harass the Bitcoiners. Don't send the industry overseas. Don't send the capital overseas. But what's our base case here? Well, we think that AI and new technology is going to drive growth. I mean, I'm going to assume that the United States is going to be run by competent executives, and they're going to harness technology, and we're going to actually take advantage of AI, and we're going to create robot cars and robots and billion-person websites that give you free accounting and legal and medical advice, and all that's going to grow our revenues faster than grows our expenses, and we'll eventually get to the point where interest rates come down. But the question is, what's the United States Bitcoin strategy? And we could be normies. You could be a 10%er. That's kind of like buying 500,000 Bitcoin. You could buy 1 million Bitcoin. A double maxi is 2 million Bitcoin. A triple maxi is buy 4 million Bitcoin. And then start sweeping the surplus of the nation when it comes into Bitcoin. And the consequences? Well, if you're a normie, if you're a normie and you have great productivity growth and brilliant technology and the robots do all the work for us, you're still going to be in debt. It just won't get much worse. I mean, that'll save us. We need that. If you're a maxi, you'll pay off. If you're a double maxi, you got a surplus. And if you're a triple maxi, instead of owing 30 trillion, the nation has 30 trillion. Right? Bitcoin is not the solution to all our